Hello, welcome to Build Wealth. Today in this video we will be looking at the Q4 and FY23 results of one of my favorite companies, ITC Limited. So before we jump into the full investor presentation, I think let's have a short introduction about ITC Limited. So it was established in 1910 and it's it started as a cigarette company, a cigarette manufacturer, and right now it's operating in 5 segments, namely cigarettes, the FMCG, hotels, paperboards, paper packaging, and your agricultural business. So if you want to look at the trend of the stock prices for the past 1 year, it has grown like this to around 440, and this is the maximum price levels till date from 1995, I guess, yeah. So if you look at the pure comparison now, so see, ITC has been involved in various segments, so there's no direct competitor for ITC per se. So if you look at FMCG, so some of the major competitors are Hindustan Unilever, you have Nestle, you have Dabur, and if you come to tobacco products, these are its competitors like Golden Tobacco, NTC, BST. Obviously, its market share is high and it holds the highest market share. So there's no direct competitor for ITC, but in varied segments, it has a lot of competitors. So this is its quarterly results from March 2020. If you look at the profit and loss, its operating profit margin is quite impressive. It has been it has maintained a stable operating profit margin of around 35% for the past 10 years, and its sales have been grown around 8% CAGR over 10 years, which is great, and its profit has been grown around 10% over the 10 years, and stock prices, if you look at the past 1 year, around 59% it has been growing. Compounded for over the last 10 years, it's 7%, and its ROE is amazing, around 25%. If you look at the balance sheet, is something that is quite impressive is its reserves. Over the past 10 years, from 18,000 crore, and right now it's down over 67,000 crore, which is wow. And the cash flow from operating is positive, which is a good sign. From investing, I think it's got into a lot of investment in fixed assets and financing activities, which is good. Shareholders like you and me, we need to get benefited. So in ratios, if you see, the ROCE has been around 39%, quite good. So one of the main important things, if you're an ITC shareholder or you want to be a prospective shareholder, you have to know that the promoters hold 0% in ITC. So it's only 43% hold in FIIs, and 43% of stake in ITC is held by FIIs, and 42% by DIIs, and you and me, the public, we hold 14.52%. So this is a very short introduction about ITC. Let's go to the results, the presentation. Okay, now let's start with ITC's Q4 and FY23 results. The first thing that they've talked about is the macroeconomic context. So they've talked about the global consumer inflation, the Indian consumer price inflation, the central bank repo rates, and the US interest rate. So if you look at the global consumer inflation, averagely right now it is about 8.7%, which is really high, and Indian CPI is around 6.7%, and if you look at the global economic estimates based on GDP, 2022 global GDP growth is around 3.4 percentage, but the estimate has been 4.4 percentage. So there has been a slowdown in the global GDP growth, and the estimation of 2023 global GDP rate is around 2.8%, but earlier it has been estimated to around 3.8 percentage. So and if you look at India's GDP estimation have been grown by 6.8% to 7 percentage in FY23, and if you see 2024 GDP growth estimate has been around 5.5% to 6.5%. So global economic scenario versus India is doing better than the average global growth rate. If you look at the charts, you can get quite a good picture. Now if we look at some of the business and financial highlights of ITC for the financial year, not for the Q4, is that your gross revenue has been grown around 17.6%, EBITDA has been grown around 26%, earnings per share has been grown by 24%, and total dividend, if you look at the press release, they have told you that the special dividend is 2.75 rupees per share, your final dividend was 6.7 rupees, and we've received an interim dividend of 6 rupees, and the total dividend for the year 2023 has been 15.5 rupees per share. So this is about the below key highlights, and if we come to like overall like a very brief summary about the various sectors, our FMCG has been growing well, and there has been a stellar performance in hotel segment. Agriculture business has been growing good, and this is your Q4 highlights. So this is based on like year-on-year change. Q4 of FY22 versus Q4 of FY23. Your gross revenue has been grown around 16%, and EBITDA by 19%. In the Q4 highlights, they've given that the cigarette business have been not growing well because of various regulations, and so the cigarette business as a whole segment has been showing a slow growth momentum. This is its competitive advantage compared to its various other competitors. Right, now let's look at FMCG sector. So FMCG sector, if you look, this is some of their products, very famous products. You'll know that it is Ashirwad, you'll know it's Ippy, Bingo, Dark Fantasy, you have Papercraft, you have Fiyama, and you have Mangaldeep and Be Natural. So the major news in ITC on the FMCG sector is that it has acquired on 4th May 2023 around 39.4% in Sprout Life Food Private Limited, and also a D2C startup of the brand Yoga Bear. So if you look at Business Today article, it has said that ITC is set to acquire the D2C snack bar Yoga Bear. So Yoga Bear is nothing but the parent, the subsidiary of Sprout Life Food Private Limited. This company owns Yoga Bear, and it said that ITC will acquire 100% stake in the nearing 3 to 4 years based on the predefined valuation criteria subject to other conditions of the documents. So it said that it is going to acquire a hygiene brand based on snack brand Yoga Bear. And if you look at the growth of the segment revenue from FY 2020 to FY 23, there has been a stellar performance from 3,000 crore to around 4,900 crores. So FMCG is a clear win, and it has a strong competitive advantage compared to its other competitors. And also it has developed in manufacturing and logistics facility in Tiruchi and Kapurthala, if I'm not wrong, and some of the most prospective ITC brands in the future ready portfolio are you have Paneer Pakoda, Super Millet Cookies, Sunfeast Super Milk, you have a Sunfeast Smoothie, Fiyama Body Wash, and Mangaldeep Sambrani Cups. Cups is kind of different. And these are some of the various advertising, marketing plans that, not plans, the execution of ITC's marketing strategies on various ITC FMCG products. This is your ITC Mission Millet. So UN has announced that 2023 year as to be the International Year of Millets. So ITC is set to introduce this concept of millets in various products like Ashirwad, Ipi, Sunfeast, Bingo. So it's moving on to a little more hygiene side, which is quite good. And these are some of the D2C and e-commerce brands that ITC is being in. And one of the most important application that ITC has is Unati. So in Unati you can like buy ITC's products, and there's around like 5.4 outlet penetration. Also there's Project Trinitra, where it is an AI based image recognition. I'm not sure what it is, but it's entering into various new things that's happening right now technologically. Right, next if we move on to the cigarette business, so as we saw, the growth momentum of the cigarette business has been sustained, but even though their segment revenue and results have been growing around like 14% compared to Q4 of the previous year. And these are like some of its brands, and I'm not totally sure about it though. So now let's talk about the hotel business. So in your hotel business, the segment revenue has been grown around like 101%, which is like a 1.7 times of your Q4 financial year 2020. So it has been growing really great because of, I wouldn't say because of, but actually during this current year, ITC has got LEED Zero Water certification for 2 of its hotels, and LEED Zero Carbon certification for 12 hotels. So what is this LEED certification? If you look at, LED is basically a US based hotel rating agency, where it certifies the buildings which consume energy and resources, right? So zero carbon certification means the net carbon emission is zero, and so the 2 hotels that has got the zero water certification is ITC Mughal and ITC Sonar, and zero LED zero carbon certification is Sheraton and Welcome Hotels in Coimbatore, ITC Mughal, Welcome Hotels in Chennai, in Bangalore, ITC Grand Chola and Windsor. So this is some of the new thing that ITC has done during this year. And if you look, ITC has got various hotel apps. That's the performance of the hotel business. So moving on to agribusiness. In your agricultural business, the revenue has been declining by around 18%, but the results have been good. So one of the important things to note in ITC agricultural business is that its manufacturing facilities at Mysore for the export of nicotine and nicotine derivative products to US or EU has been substantially completed. So nearly like 75% or 80% have been completed, and it is expected to be commissioned shortly. So I think like after this facility has been done, agricultural business is surely going to see a good raise in its revenue. And also its facility at Guntur has been scaled up. So ITC Mars is one of the mobile applications of ITC, especially for farmers. If you look at ITC Mars app in Google Play, you can find that it is basically an app to sell your products, get advice, manage your store, in a single app. So it's basically an app which is for smart farming. I think I've just touched the wrong thing. Yeah, it's a smart farming app, right? So you can get expert advice. This is the thing. So you can get free crop diagnosis, expert advice. You can detect crop diseases, and it's basically a community, especially for farmers, to grow their business in ITC. And you can also borrow seeds. So this is some of the important things. You can get loans. You can receive advices from this app, especially for farmers. Okay, moving on to paperboard, paper and packaging. So the revenue has been growing around like 1.8%, but the results have not been showing. And there has actually been a shutdown of the pulp mills for capacity expansion during this quarter. And these are some of its other new growth vector, right? So now, as we come to an end, let's have a look at the financials. So the key financials for the Q4 as well as the financial year comparison. We've seen a good growth rate, especially for the quarter 4, be it gross revenue, your net revenue, your EBITDA, your profit after tax, profit before tax. Everything has been growing really well. If we look at the segment revenue and segment results, so as we've seen in this presentation, that 3 segments have not been performing well, which is cigarette business, your agricultural business, and your paperboard segment. So if you look at the revenue, right, your sales basically, your agriculture has been declining, right, and others like paperboards have been showing a very, very slight increase of around just 1.8%. So these two has been showing a little bit, downs here and there. And if you look at the result, your profit, your paperboard is not showing a profit. We're just talking about the Q4, right? Not about the whole year. So in your Q4, your paperboards have not been performing well, but your agricultural business have been showing quite good performance. So that's it with your segment-wise Q4 result. If we look at the whole financial year, we've seen good growth rate, right? Be it cigarette or agriculture or paperboards, everything has been showing good growth rate. So that's it. So FMCG as a whole, FMCG especially, if you look at other than cigarette business, there has been an amazing performance. There is like here and there has been some ups and downs in various segments, but overall it's showing a good growth rate. At the end, if we look, some of the corporate social activities that ITC has been into is it has empowered over 4 million farmers with ITC e-Chowpal, and it has been into afforestation of growing around 10,43,000 acres trees, and there has been over primary education reaching around 11 lakh children, and there has been women empowerment. So the ITC has been into a lot of corporate social activities. If you look at ITC Infotech, which is actually not considered as a separate segment because of its very low market share, right? So if you look at the Infotech, your revenue is being very low, very, very low. See, 751, 821, 872, 877. It's very small amount though, but still it is a growing growing segment. Right now it has been certain costs have been associated with its strategic partner agreement signed with PTC Inc., which is another business in this segment, right, in this sector per se. So ITC's value is a passion for profitable growth in a way that is sustainable and inclusive. So this is ITC's passion, its vision, right? I think we've come to the end of the presentation, Q4 and FY23 presentation. this is the end. So if you really found this useful, I'm glad you found it useful. So thank you so much for watching till the end. We will see you in the next video for another episode of Q4 and FY23 results. Thank you. Bye bye.